And guys, good evening and welcome to yet another super cool, super awesome, and absolutely amazing session for the foundation course from your favorite and my favorite BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. Today we are going to have the second lecture of the Living World Foundation course for class 11. Okay, my dear sweet Neet 2022 batch, we are moving on to the diversity in the living world. Till the last class, we have completed all the properties that whether we can determine an organism is living or non-living. And now we are going to move to the diversity in the living world. Let's check. So what is diversity? The number and types of organisms present on the earth is what is said to be as diversity. Okay, it is said that there are more than, is it audible? Is it audible, guys? Please tell me. Okay, and we are moving. Okay, it is said that there are more than 1.7 to 1.8 million species. Okay, who said that? IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources. Important abbreviation, IUCN. And the number and types of organisms present on the earth refer to biodiversity. Number and types of organisms present on the earth refer to biodiversity. Moving on to next. Number of species is described as 1.7 to 1.8 billion as per the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources. Next is taxonomy. Specific terms you have to learn. What is taxonomy? It is a study of identification, classification, and nomenclature of organisms. Identification, classification, and nomenclature of organisms. The study of identification, classification, and nomenclature of organism is known as what? Taxonomy. Is that clear for you? Can we continue with the next? Systematics. It deals with the evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship between the organisms. We can tell it as inherited relationship. Inherited ones. This can be said as what? Systematics. Clear? So that is what the difference between systematics and taxonomy. And Carl Linnaeus wrote in his book Systemae Naturae in in the year 1735. Okay, and before introducing this book, we should learn about binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature is a system of naming. Just give an introduction. System of naming, which comprises of a name consisting of two components. One is the specific epithet. First one is the generic name or the genus, and the second is the specific epithet. All those we will study. Okay, all those you will learn. And all these binomial nomenclature are included in his book name Systemae Naturae. Is that clear for you? And if you like it, do hit the like button now itself and do share it with your friends. Do subscribe our channel BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. Diversity in the living world. So these are the basic processes of taxonomy. Characterization. What is the need of taxonomy? Taxonomy is required for characterization, identification, classification, as well as nomenclature. So what is characterization? Understanding the characteristic of organisms, such as external and internal structure of a cell, development processes, ecological information. All these are what is said to be the characterization of an organism in taxonomy. It's identification, identifying an organism and giving it the correct description so that we can, naming is easily possible, identifying its group, identify its family, identify its species. Okay, and finally putting it in a separate group, and it is what is said to be the identification. Next is classification, classifying the organisms into different categories, where it is prokaryotes, eukaryotes, in kingdom protista, fungi. All those are things to be said in classification. And finally, the nomenclature, that is the standardization names of giving standardization names of organisms such that an organism is known by its name all over the world. And this nomenclature, system of nomenclature, was proposed by a scientist known as Caspar Bohen. Not it, Caspar Bohen. Proposed by. Okay, this taxonomic process are proposed by Caspar Bohen, and it is established, or what is it? Established by Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus. Okay, is that clear for you? The system of naming with two components is called binomial nomenclature. It is proposed by Linnaeus. As you know, it is established by Linnaeus and it is proposed by a scientist known as Caspar Bohen. Caspar Bohen. Botanical names are based on an important botany. Botany means what? Study of plants, and zoology means study of animals. So botanical names, names of plants, are based on the rules and guidelines given by ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. And zoological names are given on the basis of the rules and guidelines of ICZN, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. It is international code, not Indian. Okay, international code. It's a Neet MCQ. Is that clear? Rules of binomial nomenclature. Scientific names are in Latin or Latinized, and when handwritten, it should be in italics. All these you have learned in the previous classes. Okay, when handwritten, they should be separately written and should be underlined. First name is the what? The genus name, and the second one is the specific epithet. Specific. That is another neat MCQ. Another neat MCQ. Genus name starts with capital letter and species name with small letter. Look, genus name capital letter starts with capital letter and species name starts with small letter. Author's name up at the end. For example, Mangifera indica Lin. That's the author's name. Okay, Mangifera indica Lin, Homo sapiens Lin. All these are author's name at the end in abbreviated form. Next is the taxonomic categories. As you know, there are different categories in the hierarchical order, and the classification involves a hierarchy steps in which each step represents a taxonomic category or a rank. All categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Is that clear? Each category represents unit of classification. A group of organisms occupying a particular area, a particular category, is what is said to be a taxon. The hierarchical order is species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. The clue is that KPC of GS. KPC of GS, or Karina Priyanka, call our friends group salsa. Anything you may learn. Okay, this is the order of the taxonomic category. Okay, ascending order: species, genus, family, order, class, phylum. And in plants, its phylum is said to be as division. And kingdom. Species is the lowest or the fundamental taxonomic category. A related species form genus. Assemblage of related genus form family. Related family, group of related families said to be order. Assemblage of related orders form class. Classes together combined to form phylum or division. Division in plants and phylum in animals. And the highest category, that is the kingdom. And above kingdom, it's one more category is there known as the domain. Species. It is a group of closely related organisms capable of interbreeding to produce fertile offspring. It's the lowest category. For example, in the name Mangifera indica, indica is a specific epithet or the species name. Solanum tuberosum. Tuberosum is the specific epithet. Solanum nigrum. Nigrum is the specific epithet. Panthera leo, Panthera tigris, Panthera pardus, Homo sapiens. In all these, the specific epithet is the second word starting with the small letter. Genus is the aggregates of closely related species. Aggregates of closely related species form the genus. Solanum tuberosum. The word solanum is genus. Panthera leo. Panthera is the genus. Felis domesticus. It is what? Felis is the genus name. Family. It is a group of related genera. Group of related genera. For example, family Solanaceae include Solanum, Petunia, Datura. Family Felidae, genus Panthera and the genus Felis. This is what is said to be the assemblage of related genera constituting the family. Order, assemblage of related families. Family Convoluceae, family Solanaceae all together as family polymonials. Order Carnivora, family Felidae and family Canidae. Is that clear? Class, assemblage of related orders. Class Dicotyledonea, class Mammalia. Phylum. In animals it is phylum, and plants it is related class form division. Okay, division Angiospermae, phylum Chordata, that includes class Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, Mammalia, all those things. Is that clear? All these are very basic and you just need to read it. Okay. These all are the questions coming from this chapter. Kingdom. It is the highest category. Assemblage of related phyla or division. Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Animalia. Is that okay? Look, this is the taxonomic categories. Okay, read it. You take a screenshot if you need. Next, we are moving on to taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aids. The first one is the herbarium. It is a storehouse of plant specimens that are dried, pressed, and preserved on sheets and is arranged according to universally accepted classification. Herbarium sheets. It contains a label. It is labeled with specific information about date and place of collection, English name, botanical name, okay, place of collection, botanical name, vernacular name, that's the local name, family, name of collector. And one question: the label of a herbarium sheet does not contain information on one of the Neet MCQ. The label of a herbarium sheet does not contain information on, and selective options are given there, and the answer was option D, right? Height of the plant, and this label of the herbarium sheet does not contain information on height of the plant. Next is botanical garden. Next taxonomical aid is botanical garden. And before that, examples of herbarium. Herbarium examples. Where shall I do it? Okay. Please look. List of herbarium. First one. Royal Botanical Garden. Royal Botanical Garden in Kew. Where is it? In England. So Royal Botanical Garden at England. Central National Herbarium. Where is it located? At Calcutta. All these are respective herbariums. Is that clear for you? Royal Botanical Garden at Kew in England, Central Botanical Gardens in Calcutta. Next is the Botanical Gardens, which is a kind of ex situ conservation. Kind of ex situ conservation. Specialized gardens having collections of living plants. Ex situ conservation, that is, living plants are taken for future reference. Each plant is labeled with its botanical name and family. Famous botanical gardens are Royal Botanical Garden at Kew in England, Indian Botanical Garden, Howrah, West Bengal, National Botanical Research Institute at Lucknow in India. Okay, then Lloyd Botanical Gardens, LLOYD. Lloyd Botanical Gardens at Darjeeling. Lloyd Botanical Gardens at Darjeeling. Okay, moving on to Biological Museum. Biological Museum is a collection of preserved plants and animals for study and reference. Look, preserved plants and animals are used for future reference. Okay, collection, preserved collection. Is that clear? Biological Museum. It contains specimens preserved in. What is this? This mouse is not at all working. It's complete. Okay. Specimens preserved in preservative solutions in containers or jars. Dried specimens of plants and animals. What is happening? Dried specimens of plants and animals. Stuffed larger animals like birds and mammals. Collection of animal skeleton. For example, look, dinosaurs. All these are in biological museums. Next is the zoological parks, where live wild animals are kept in protected environment under human care. It helps to learn about their food habits and behavior. It is what is simply said to be the zoos. Zoological parks is said to be the zoos. Next taxonomical aid is the key. It is the analytical method of identification of organisms on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities. For example, if we get to organism, any two organism. First, for example, we will check whether it has dry skin. If it has no dry skin, we can conclude it as what salamander. It is salamander. If it has dry skin, then we move on. Whether it has hair, if no, we can conclude that it is lizard. If yes, next question arises whether it has opposable thumbs. If no, it is tiger. If yes, whether it is bipedal. If it is not bipedal, it can conclude it as gorilla. And whether if it is bipedal, we can surely come to the conclusion as human. Like this, a key has two contrasting characters. And that is what is said to be as the couplet. And each couplet has two options, opposite option. Only one relevant option is accepted while the other is rejected. Each statement in a key is called as a lead. Each statement in a key is called as a lead. All these are examples for keys. Bracketed type, branching type. Okay. Next is flora. We are coming on to reaching the end of the chapter. The actual account of habitat and distribution of the plant species in a given area is what is said to be flora. Actual account of habitat and distribution of plant species in a given area is said to be flora. Manuals. Manuals are the record that contains information for identification of names and species found in an area. Identification of names and species found in an area. Okay. And moving on to next. Please wait, guys. Please wait. Please wait. Okay, moving on to next. Monographs. Record that contains information on anyone, taxon, all those are everything, simple things. Catalog. Alphabetical list of species, arrangement of species in alphabetical order. And that's all for today. If you like this video, and that's all for this chapter as well. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I know at the conclusion it was too speed, but nothing to learn from that. Just learn the definitions. Okay. Next chapter is biological classification, and we will be moving on forward with that. And do hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe our channel. Biopoint, stream the world of bio. It means signing out from your favorite and my favorite Biopoint. Bye bye.